In the day's other news, President Trump cast his first veto of a bill passed by Congress against legislation to block his national emergency on the southern border. He did it in front of news cameras, flanked by law enforcement officers and by parents of people killed by migrants in the United States illegally.
Today I am vetoing this resolution. Congress has the freedom to pass this resolution, and I have the duty to veto it, and I'm very proud to veto it. And I'm very proud, as I said, of a lot of Republican senators that were with me.
41 Republican senators voted yesterday to back the president's emergency order, but the other 12 joined with Democrats to oppose it. Neither house appears to have the votes to override the veto, but the emergency declaration faces a battery of legal challenges. A tense calm returned in Gaza and Israel today after cross-border fighting erupted overnight. Daylight revealed the damage from some 100 Israeli airstrikes in Gaza, targeting the militant group Hamas. They were triggered by a rare rocket attack on Tel Aviv. Israeli news accounts said it now appears that the rockets were fired by accident, possibly during maintenance work. North Korea is warning the U.S. that it may restart missile launches and nuclear tests. That follows last month's failed summit in Vietnam. A senior official in Pyongyang said today that North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, will decide soon whether to continue talks or resume testing. In Washington, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said the U.S. expects Kim to keep a promise made to President Trump.
In Hanoi, on multiple occasions, he spoke directly to the president and made a commitment that he would not resume nuclear testing, nor would he resume missile testing. So that's Chairman Kim's word. We have every expectation that he will live up to that commitment.
Pompeo and National Security Advisor John Bolton also disputed a North Korean claim, that they personally torpedoed the summit by refusing to compromise. Tens of thousands of youth activists around the world skipped school today to march for action on climate change. Demonstrations span more than 100 countries, with rallies in cities from New Delhi to Hong Kong to Paris. Everywhere, the activists said it was a fight for their future. In Washington, organizers led chants called for increased youth voting and challenged politicians to end reliance on carbon-based energy.
Fossil fuel corporations have for far too long put profit over people and the planet. We will listen to each other, organize and solve this issue, regardless or not if any adults will join us. Because we are the youth fighting for our right to live on this planet.
The worldwide youth movement was started by a Swedish 16-year-old Greta Thunberg in 2018. She has since been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Volkswagen and a former CEO are facing charges of defrauding U.S. investors during a diesel emissions scandal. The Securities and Exchange Commission last night accused the German automaker of selling billions of dollars in bonds and securities at inflated prices. VW eventually admitted that nearly 500,000 diesel vehicles sold in the U.S. were rigged to cheat on emissions tests. On Wall Street, stocks finished the week on a high note thanks to tech and retail stocks. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 139 points to close near 25,849. The Nasdaq rose 57, and the S&P 500 added 14. And a passing to note, former U.S. Poet Laureate W.S. Merwin died today at his home in Hawaii. Merwin penned more than 20 books of poetry exploring nature, the Vietnam War, and age and time. His writing earned him a host of honors, including 2 Pulitzer Prizes and the National Book Award. W.S. Merwin was 91 years old. Still to come on the NewsHour, Shields and Brooks on the dangers of hate speech. A photographer works to capture the past, documenting the sights of the Underground Railroad, and much more.